What if I told you there was an NHL player who was one of the smallest guys on the ice, but still made defenders twice his size look silly? A player who stood at just 5 feet 10 inches and 177 pounds, but still became a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Hart Trophy winner, and one of the most skilled American-born players ever? This player is, of course, none other than Patrick Kane. To find out how Kane was able to become an NHL superstar despite his small size, we need to go back to Buffalo, New York in the early 2000s. Throughout this time, Kane was training under the guidance of his father, Pat Sr., and local youth coaches, who taught him that speed and skill were more important than size and strength. This idea stuck with Kane, and he immediately started using this approach throughout his youth hockey days. He found tremendous success using these skills, becoming a standout player in every league he joined. Although most scouts were impressed by his incredible stick handling and vision, many questioned if someone his size could survive the physical demands of professional hockey. They saw a skinny kid who weighed less than 180 pounds and wrote him off, except for a few talent evaluators who recognized his extraordinary talent. One scout stated, "I really believe this kid would be the consensus #1 pick if only he was 3 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier." Despite these concerns, Kane's elite skill level was simply too good to ignore. This was a life-changing moment for him when the Chicago Blackhawks selected him first overall in the 2007 NHL draft. He had always dreamed about hearing his name called first, but at 18 years old, there was still a long journey ahead to prove he belonged in the NHL. Many critics doubted a player his size could handle the physical play of professional hockey, especially against seasoned defensemen who towered over him. But Kane was determined to show that skill and speed could overcome size disadvantages. When draft day finally arrived on June 22, 2007, Kane put on a suit that looked slightly too big for his frame. As NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman called his name first overall, Kane stepped onto the stage to put on the red and black Chicago Blackhawks jersey, a historic moment for a franchise that had struggled for years. Behind the smiles, though, Kane knew the real challenge was just beginning. Chicago wasn't just giving him a chance. They were betting their future on a player many considered too small for the NHL grind. Kane's first NHL training camp was a challenging experience as he adjusted to the physicality of professional hockey. In one of his earliest practices, Kane faced a tough hit from a veteran defenseman, which made him realize the intensity of the NHL. Instead of trying to match the physical play, Kane adapted by developing his awareness of the ice and anticipating hits. His NHL debut came against the Minnesota Wild on October 4th, 2007. Though he didn't score in his first game, it didn't take long for Kane to show why Chicago had selected him first. Just 7 games into his career, Kane scored a memorable goal against Jose Theodore of the Colorado Avalanche, announcing his arrival to the league. Playing alongside fellow rookie Jonathan Toews, Kane quickly became the offensive spark the Blackhawks had been missing. He finished his rookie season with 72 points, 21 goals and 51 assists in 82 games, leading all first-year players in scoring. His playmaking ability was especially impressive, as he could thread passes through gaps that most veterans couldn't even see. Kane's rookie season culminated in winning the Calder Trophy as the NHL's top rookie, beating out his teammate Toews and Washington's Nicholas Backstrom. During his acceptance speech, Kane couldn't resist addressing his critics. "They said I was too small for the NHL, that I'd get crushed out there." Well, I guess sometimes the things that make you different are also what make you special. Even opposing coaches started changing their game plans specifically to deal with Kane. Before a game against Chicago, Nashville Predators coach Barry Trotz was caught on camera telling his team, "Don't worry about hitting him. You can't hit what you can't catch." This was the ultimate sign of respect, as veteran coaches rarely adjust their strategies for a rookie. By the end of his first season, Kane had silenced most doubters. His rookie success was just the beginning for both Kane and the Blackhawks. After missing the playoffs for 5 straight seasons before his arrival, Chicago qualified for the postseason in Kane's rookie year. From basement dwellers to playoff contenders in just 1 season, Kane had already helped transform the franchise, proving that in hockey, size isn't everything. Heart, vision, and skill can change a team's fortunes just as much as size and strength. Despite Kane's impressive rookie season, his first taste of NHL playoff hockey was a challenging experience. The Blackhawks faced the veteran-heavy Detroit Red Wings in the 2009 Western Conference Finals. Kane, who had dazzled in the regular season, found himself facing tough defensive matchups. The Blackhawks were eliminated in 5 games. In the aftermath of the series, Kane reflected on the lessons learned from the experience. He realized that to succeed at the highest level, he needed to improve his overall game beyond just offense. This marked a transformative period for Kane, as he began focusing on becoming a more complete player. When Kane returned for the 2009-10 season, teammates noticed significant improvements in his defensive play. His back-checking became more tenacious, and his plus-minus rating improved. Kane's takeaway statistics increased, ranking him among the top forwards in the league. This defensive improvement didn't come at the expense of his offense. He still produced 88 points in 82 games. Off the ice, Kane faced personal challenges, including an incident with a taxi driver in Buffalo that made headlines. Team captain Jonathan Toews had a conversation with Kane that teammates noted led to an immediate change in Kane's approach to his professional responsibilities. "I had to grow up," Kane admitted during a team media day. "Hockey was always fun and games for me. Now I understand it's also a job, a responsibility. I represent more than just myself when I put on this jersey." This newfound maturity translated to his preparation. Kane began watching video of opponents before games, something he had rarely done before. Coach Joel Quenneville noticed the changes too, and began trusting Kane in more versatile roles. By mid-season, Kane's all-around game had earned him increased responsibility on the ice. When asked about Kane's development, Quenneville simply said, "He's earned it. He's not just a scorer anymore, he's a hockey player in every sense." As the 2010 playoffs approached, Kane had transformed from a one-dimensional offensive talent to a more complete player. The Blackhawks had finished the regular season as one of the NHL's top teams, but questions remained about whether this young core could overcome last year's playoff disappointment. For Kane personally, the upcoming playoff run represented a chance to prove he wasn't just a flashy regular season performer, but someone who could rise to the occasion when it mattered most. The weight of Chicago's 49-year Stanley Cup drought hung over the team. Kane had a picture of the Stanley Cup taped inside his locker with a simple message written below: "Whatever it takes." The transformation was complete. The boy wonder had become a man with a mission. The years from 2010 to 2015 were when Patrick Kane truly showed the hockey world that size doesn't matter when you have otherworldly skills. In games against larger opponents, Kane consistently demonstrated his ability to evade hits and create scoring opportunities. For instance, his quickness and agility allowed him to outmaneuver defenders, often leaving them grasping at air as he sped past. Kane's stick handling became legendary during this period. His hands moved so quickly that television cameras sometimes struggled to track the puck. Kane's teammates marveled at his ability to control the puck in tight spaces, often comparing it to magic. His teammate Brent Seabrook once joked, "Patrick's stick is like a magic wand. The puck just sticks to it like it's on a string." What made Kane truly special was his ability to maintain perfect control at top speed. Most players have to slow down to handle the puck, but Kane would accelerate through his dangles, leaving defenders struggling to keep up. His speed and agility allowed him to weave through opponents with ease, creating scoring chances that few others could match. Between 2010 and 2015, Kane put up impressive numbers: 376 points in 381 games, including a career-high 88 points in the 2009-10 season. But it was in the playoffs where Kane truly elevated his game. He scored 23 goals and 49 assists in 71 playoff games during this stretch. Clutch production that cemented his reputation as a big-game performer. One of Kane's most remarkable playoff moments came in the 2013 Stanley Cup playoffs. Kane consistently delivered crucial performances, showcasing his ability to rise to the occasion in high-pressure situations. His teammate Duncan Keith was amazed by Kane's ability to make highlight reel plays even in the most intense moments. Kane's playing style stood in stark contrast to the power forwards who dominated the NHL during this era. While players like David Bax and Milan Lucic used their size to overpower opponents, Kane relied on quickness and creativity. "It's like watching different sports sometimes," NBC analyst Eddie Olczyk observed. "The big guys are playing football on ice, and Kane's playing this beautiful, artistic game that no one else can match." This period saw Kane earn his reputation as Showtime, a nickname given to him for his flair for dramatic moments. While some players shrink under pressure, Kane seemed to thrive on it. In elimination games during this stretch, he averaged more than a point per game, often scoring when Chicago needed it most. All of this skill and clutch play translated into team success, as Kane helped lead the Blackhawks to 3 Stanley Cup championships in 2010, 2013, and 2015. Each championship had Kane's fingerprints all over it. The overtime, cup-winning goal in 2010, the conference-clinching hat trick in 2013, and a series of crucial assists in 2015. With each cup victory, the questions about his size faded further into the background. After the Blackhawks won their 3rd cup in 6 years, veteran defenseman Kimmo Timonen, who had played against Kane for years before becoming his teammate, summed it up perfectly. "I spent a decade trying to stop this guy and never figured it out. Now I know why. There is no solution to the Patrick Kane problem. He's not just good despite being small, he's special because he's small. His low center of gravity and quick turns are only possible because of his size." June 9th, 2010, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final at the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia. The Blackhawks led the series 3-2, but the Flyers had all the momentum after avoiding elimination in Game 5. For the Flyers, their home crowd roared with the belief that they could push this to a Game 7. The game had been a back-and-forth battle all night. Chicago took a 3-2 lead into the 3rd period, but Philadelphia's Scott Hartnell tied it with just 3:59 left in regulation, sending the game to overtime. For Kane, this was the moment he had been working toward since those basement hockey sessions in Buffalo. 4 minutes into overtime, Kane collected the puck near center ice. The Flyers had just completed a line change, creating a tiny gap in their defense. Kane, spotting this small opening, burst into the zone with surprising speed. Flyers defenseman Kimmo Timonen tried to angle him to the outside, but Kane cut sharply toward the goal, using his smaller frame to slip into a space a larger player couldn't access. As Kane approached from a severe angle, Flyers goaltender Michael Leighton dropped to his butterfly stance, expecting a pass to the front of the net. Instead, Kane did something few players would even attempt. He fired a shot from nearly along the goal line, finding a tiny space between Leighton's pad and the near post. The puck slid underneath the padding and nestled into the far side of the net. What happened next became one of hockey's most unusual championship moments. The puck was stuck in the padding at the back of the net, making it invisible to most people in the arena, including the referees, broadcasters, and even Kane's teammates. But Kane knew. The instant he shot the puck, he raised his arms in celebration and raced down the ice, throwing his gloves off in jubilation while everyone else looked confused. "I saw it go right through his legs and through the net," Kane explained later. "That's why I started celebrating. I know some guys didn't see it go in, including my teammates and probably most of the building." For several surreal seconds, Kane celebrated alone, skating in circles with his arms raised while everyone else stood frozen, waiting for confirmation. His teammate Patrick Sharp later recalled, "I'm watching Kane skate down the ice by himself, and I'm thinking, what is this guy doing? Did it go in? Is this real?" Finally, the officials conferred and signaled goal. Replay confirmed what Kane had known immediately. The Blackhawks were Stanley Cup champions. In the chaotic celebration that followed, Kane was asked how he could be so certain the puck went in when nobody else saw it. His response became an iconic quote, "I didn't see it go in either. I just knew." Sometimes you just know. For Kane, who had faced doubts about his size his entire career, scoring the cup-winning goal was the ultimate validation. NBC commentator Mike Emmerich put it perfectly as the Blackhawks celebrated. For a city that waited 49 years, the smallest player on the ice just came up the biggest. Back in Chicago, the celebration was legendary. Over 2 million people attended the championship parade, the largest gathering in the city's history. One fan held a sign that read, "Dear Philadelphia, the winning goal was scored by a 5'11" guy you said was too small for the NHL." When Kane brought the Stanley Cup back to his hometown, he was met with admiration and respect from fans and former coaches alike. His journey from a small, skilled player to a champion was an inspiration to many. In 2016, he put together his most dominant season yet, scoring 106 points to capture both the Hart Trophy as league MVP and the Art Ross Trophy as scoring champion. This made him the first American-born player to lead the NHL in scoring, breaking a streak dominated by Canadian and European stars. In January 2020, Kane joined the exclusive 1,000-point club, becoming just the 4th Blackhawk and the youngest American ever to reach this milestone. The crowd at the United Center chanted MVP as his teammates poured off the bench to celebrate with him at center ice. Kane continued breaking American hockey records, surpassing Phil Housley, as the highest-scoring U.S.-born player in NHL history. His trade to the New York Rangers in 2023 marked the end of an era in Chicago, but fans lined up to thank him one last time at the airport as he departed. Patrick Kane changed American hockey forever, said USA Hockey executive Jim Johansson. Now every small kid with skill believes they can make it because of what Kane accomplished. Even NHL scouts changed their approach after Kane's success. 20 years ago, we'd pass on a small, skilled player every time, admitted one veteran scout. Now, we're afraid to miss the next Kane. Perhaps Kane's greatest legacy is how he helped revolutionize hockey from a game dominated by size and strength to one where skill and speed prevail. As former coach Joel Quenneville put it, Patrick didn't just overcome his size disadvantage, he turned it into an advantage. He proved that in hockey, the size of your heart and your hands matter more than the size of your body. If you enjoyed the story of how Patrick Kane proved that size doesn't limit greatness, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing sports stories. Let us know in the comments which NHL player you'd like to see featured next.